everybody. Welcome to the Green Spoon podcast. We're super excited to be here today with Shiv Simani from Shiv Simani Fitness. And today we're going to talk a lot about how to stay healthy and fit during the holiday season because it's coming up. So Shiv, why don't you start by introducing yourself a bit?
All right. Thanks, Juliet. Hi, I'm Shivarenja Simani from Shiv Simani Fitness and Rotator. I am a coach. I am a father. I am a social media wellness influencer. Yeah.
Very cool.
Really excited to be here, actually.
Thanks for joining us, Shiv. So maybe what we could talk about first is like your journey to this space of fitness, because you're really well known. We all know you. We all follow you. We all love your advice. I love your advice. And I'm just so interested to know, it has been a journey, of course, and we'd love to know a bit more about that.
Yeah. So my journey started really young when I was a child, basically. I always knew I wanted to do something fitness related. And to be particular, it was playing football. But that dream did materialize. So I ended up having to go to school. I really didn't even want to go to high school. Like, it was like, I want to be a footballer from like really young. So high school, uni, kind of went out of fitness a bit in uni, but I was still swimming, I was still playing football, I was still running. I was still just keeping it, close by, but not really doing it competitively. Then after uni, I had a series of events which brought me back. It didn't but brought me back to fitness. So I jumped like deep diving into the party scene, and my life wasn't going how I wanted it to go. I was drinking hard. I was smoking really hard. Some people may not know, but I was smoking cigarettes for a number of years from like my fourth year in high school. And I was drinking more or less 5 out of 7 days a week and driving. And drinking and driving do not go.
No.
No. So I ended up being in 3 road accidents.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Being the driver, drunk driving, in 1 year. Wow. And I think after the last one, I just had this moment where I sat and I was like, this is probably going to be the last one of this that's going to happen. And from here, I'm not going to be around anymore. And I got that feeling. It was such a strong feeling that I was like, the universe is telling me something. I need to listen. So I quit drinking for the next year and a half. And I went into the gym every single day, nonstop, for a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved it. And I was documenting my journey during this period. I was just like telling guys what I'm up to, what I'm doing, showing them my workouts. And during this time, Instagram and Facebook were kind of coming up. So it was just, okay, just post these things online. And just started building a following, building a community, people asking questions about how I can help them. And I didn't really know at the time, I wasn't sure about it until I started getting even more interested in now actually coaching people, because my degree is in hotel and restaurant management. So I'm generally a hotelier, but I worked in the hotel for 1 year, 2 years plus my internship, and I knew it wasn't for me. So I kind of just jumped ship from that into the fitness side of things. I had a partner at the time, a business partner at the time, and we started what used to be, what is just Gym It now. Went separate ways, started my own thing, and long story short, I'm here now. Yeah.
What an amazing story.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking about the signs from the universe, right? From your party days and the shift into, you obviously became quite obsessive about the gym, going every day.
Yeah.
But what I think is so interesting about that is that people often talk about, like, I had to reach a certain point with my own health before I took it seriously and started going to the gym or started eating healthily.
Yeah.
And those 3 close brushes with death must help you empathize with that mentality, right? That like, okay, I get it. We don't all come from like a perfect background where we've woken up as an infant thinking, I'm going to take care of every element of my life. Everybody has sort of rocky periods, right?
Yeah, we all have that place where there's just a voice telling you it's time, even when you're starting the business, there's this
Yeah.
voice saying it's time. There's something pulling you to this, and I really believe in just listening to that voice, that universe, whether it's a gut feeling or whatever it is, and just following it. But yeah, when that health part of your life comes and it's not a doctor telling you, it's yourself telling you, then it is time.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
absolutely. And so today, you have, I presume, like a sort of a group of clients who come to you, and they come for, do they come only for the advice on workouts and the gym, or I see you doing a bit more on nutrition, so
Yeah.
you're doing a bit of both?
Yeah, so I do a bit of both. So I specialize in basically helping nutrition when it comes to losing weight. But people come to me for working out. So I do different kinds of packages. So you can work out with me in the gym, and it's more functional fitness kind of training, or you can have an ebook which I'll send to you, and it's up to you to do it on your own, or it can be on this nutrition consultation or a meal plan. And this meal plan is mainly just to show you a sustainable way of how you should eat depending on what's available to you. I just basically show you more of the quantities and how to space out your meals and why you're eating, and explain, just make it as sustainable as possible. I'm not trying to have you eat things that you've never seen before,
Yeah.
just how to eat the things you have to achieve your goal.
And on the weight loss thing, are you finding that do we have a problem in Kenya with an overweight population? Like, are you seeing quite a lot of that in the gym?
It's beginning to be a problem. I don't think it was a problem before, but now I feel like 1 in every 5 is starting to have a weight problem. And this is translating into a rise in non-communicable diseases. That's like your diabetes, high blood pressure. And even what's worse is it's happening at younger and younger ages. Before it was like 60s, 70s, and now we're seeing 30s, 40-year-olds who are going through things that they really shouldn't be going through. And it's mostly just because of lifestyle choices, inactivity. Yeah.
Tricky. And what do you think's caused this?
Um, I think just modernization, shift in people thinking and feeling like the normal traditional food isn't what is in, but it's like, let's move to fast food because fast food is more readily available. However, I do think that our local food is available. I just feel like people just have gotten busy, don't want to cook as much, don't want to have to go through that hassle of sourcing this ingredients. So it's more just, let's just pop in the drive-through or just order in. And it's that shift to that lifestyle and less walking and less moving around because it's considered, you know, a status symbol to drive around more. And I know the infrastructure may not be the best, but I think we can do a lot more. Instead of chilling at lunchtime, how about you just walk around the warehouse, walk around the parking lot?
Yeah.
So it's just inactivity and just a mentality and a culture where it's not seen as something that's necessary and that should be done,
Yeah.
but something as like there's two mindsets. Some people see working out as elitist. Other people see it as I don't need to and I don't understand it.
Yeah. Or I'll do it when I really have to.
Yes.
Maybe.
That's the one.
And I think also, like, I don't blame a lot of people in some ways with this problem with junk food because it's really addictive, right?
Yeah.
They make it so that you want it every day.
Yeah.
So you have to be so mindful to restrict yourself or limit the number of times that you decide to indulge, maybe, and to see it as an indulgence rather than this is an everyday thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's really interesting. And just talking about mindset now, Shiv, how do you see, like, how do you advise your clients to adopt a mindset that will help them stay healthy and fit, particularly during this holiday season?
Yeah.
As it's approaching us, and there's all sorts of temptations and indulgences in front of us.
So all through the year, whether it's my clients or anyone, everyone, I try to preach and teach and educate about sustainability in the long run. So I don't like to cut things out completely from people's diet. I'm like, I'll tell you, sodas are not great. Yeah, chocolate in large amounts is not great, but really it's all about just portion control. Like, this food is not going to go anywhere. Yeah, it's still going to be there in January. It's still going to be there in February. You don't have to eat the whole cake in that 2 weeks that, you don't
Yeah.
have to like have a slice every other day. You'll still enjoy it. Have a well balanced plate. That's another thing. You can have your vegetables, your protein, your carbs, your fats, and your dessert. But just don't have to have dessert only and then this like just have some balance. And I think that's the best way to look at it. Because even through the year, I'm like with my clients, if you want to have a piece of chocolate, have a piece of chocolate. But if you're having a piece of chocolate and you're going to have a slice of cake, are you also going to make sure you're going to show up to your workouts? Are you also going to make sure you're going to drink your water? Are you going to make sure you get some good quality sleep and enough sleep? And are you going to make sure you're having a balanced diet for the rest of the meals? If you are, then that's fine, go ahead. But just don't have the chocolate and then have a piece of cake and then have, sleep badly because you've binge watched your favorite series all night. It just doesn't work for the body. So just make it as sustainable as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. So the message is enjoy the treats, but think about how you're making it a balance
Yeah.
with everything else.
Yeah. It has to be balanced.
Yeah. And do you see a drop off like with people coming to the gym over the holidays? And how do you
Yeah.
get people to like keep thinking about like you've got to move, you've got to use your body, you've got to
Yeah.
stay fit. You don't want to come back in January and be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm starting from
Yeah.
ground zero again.
Yeah, that's just a trend in my business that in December the numbers will go down. I guess for you numbers are going up during the
Yeah.
holiday season. Yeah. Yeah. For me, it's expected because of travel. People are traveling to see family. People are taking leave from work to rest, relax. So there's two kinds of people in December. There's those who come to the gym because they have the time, and there's those who now leave because they have to travel. So to keep them interested in exercise, it's very simple. I tell them, look, don't stress yourself about trying to hit a PR. You're not going to hit your personal best in squats or deadlifts or anything during this period. Don't even think about that. All you need to think about is tiny things like steps. Like, how are you going to get your steps in? If you're able to count your steps, just do something that's small. Have fun challenges within the family. Now that you have more time with your kids or with your spouses or friends or sisters and brothers, start up simple challenges like, since you're the one who goes to the gym, maybe no one else goes, or if someone goes, like, let's have a push-up challenge for this month, or this 15 days of Christmas, or this 30 days, or this 20 days of holiday. Let's see who will do the most push-ups at the end of the season, or let's see who will drink the most water, and it's like on a chart on the fridge. So have family related competitions, involve the kids with play. So it can be very simple obstacle courses that require you to squat and to jump, but kids love that. And for them, they see you doing it and it encourages them to start doing it because it becomes part of the everyday. They do what they see, they don't do what you say, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, the other day, Saskia, who's 9,
Yeah.
was going to a cricket match. So I said, "You're going to do some warm-ups," and she
Yeah.
straight away got down, started doing mountain climbers. Then she did some
Yeah.
burpees, and I was like, "Oh wow, this
Yeah.
is really cool!" Like, and it
amazing.
reminded me that because she wasn't taking it seriously, and they're not trying to get a personal best, and they haven't got all the weight of like, "Oh, I have to do," And it reminded me, okay, this can be really playful.
Yeah.
And I think it can be useful being around family. You might not have your own kids, but you might be around nieces, nephews. You can say, "Why don't you set the challenge?"
Yeah, try to do something, move every day. Immobility is the enemy, so we're trying to stay mobile. We
Yeah.
are made to move. If we stop moving, we stop functioning, basically.
Yeah.
So
You're sending a message, aren't you, to your body, like
Yeah.
we don't need to move anymore.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's interesting. And like you say, often the little things, like maybe going for a walk during a meeting or something, because you must
call.
have a lot of clients who work in an office.
Yeah, yeah. So always encouraging, if you're answering your phone, stand up and just start walking. Yeah, if you have on a call and you can walk, walk as much as you can. If you can walk to the kitchen or to the dispenser, try not to send someone. Try
Yeah.
your very best not to send someone. Every step counts, I think. Even if it's walking around the dining table. So just stand up and walk. If in every hour you can stand up for 10 minutes, that's good. You know, you don't want to find yourself seated for 3 hours in a row. That's a long time sitting down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually why I quite like working, in our warehouse, there's a lot
Yeah.
of sort of up and down and
Yeah.
moving to people's desks and talking. And yeah, it's good to keep moving.
Yeah.
It's also good for your brain, actually, and for
Yeah.
thinking. So just thinking about these challenges, Shiv, I think is such a cool idea and it gets the sort of spirit going.
Yeah.
But I'm really interested in the challenge that you're doing. Tell us a bit about it.
Okay, so the 24-hour challenge, that's what it's all about. That's what it's called. So I started this I first did it in 2019, end of 2019. And this was after I just kind of joined CrossFit. I did CrossFit for 2 years. Before that, I was bodybuilding and I went to competitive bodybuilding and realized this is not for me because it's purely aesthetic and I'm not about that. I realized that when I was on stage, I was like, yeah, I'm not about this. So then I got into CrossFit, did this for 2 years. So one of the main things and the main reasons I get from almost everyone for not working out is I don't have time. That's the one reason. That's like the top reason. I don't have time. Second reason is I don't enjoy coming to the gym. Third reason is I can't afford to come to the gym. Fourth reason is um, I'm just far away, basically. I'm not able to make it to any of these places.
Yeah.
Yeah, accessibility. So it's like, okay. And during that year, I watched a few people in the UK who are just really inspiring to me. I watched some guy do a 24-hour backwards run.
Wow.
Yeah, another one do a 24-hour. The same guy actually do a box jump Everest, the height of Everest, and box jumps in like
Wow.
22 hours. The same guy did a sled push for 23 hours. And I was like, wow, now a guy was swimming across the English Channel. I was like, wow, this people are like really pushing their bodies and really inspired me. So at the end of the day, I was like, you know what, let me do a 24-hour challenge. Since we all have 24 hours in a day, and the best time to work out is whenever you work out. There's no ideal time. A morning is not ideal, evening is not ideal. It's whatever time you work out, that's the best time. So it's like guys are always like, because I can't work out in the morning, I'll just work out the next day again. I'm like, no, you work out when you can work out. That's just the bottom line. So we all have 24 hours in a day. In this 24 hours, what else can I do is show people the different ways you can work out in 24 hours. So there's a collection of workouts we'll be doing in the 24 hours. So we'll be doing CrossFit like hour one, hour two, Olympic lifting, hour three is bodyweight workouts, hour four is going to be Zumba, hour five is dance, hour six is kickboxing, hour seven is so I'm trying to do
Wow.
24 different kinds of workouts. Some are just even mobility posture workouts for people like in the office who sit a lot. Others are like lower body mobility movements, people who travel a lot and are seated a long time. So it's like, I'm just trying to show people the different ways you can move your body. It doesn't just have to be just that one thing, coming to the gym and paying for that subscription. There's many other ways you can do this. So
Yeah.
there's 24 different things you can do. There's 24 hours in a day. You can do any of these 24 hours. Um, and yeah, it's basically to promote the need to work out for health reasons, to reduce or prevent the rise of non-communicable diseases in society, in our culture, change the mindset of how people view working out. And instead of waiting to have to go to the hospital to now get curative measures, and healthcare is already a serious problem in the country, how about we work on our prevention for free? Because you can work out
Yeah.
for free at home. So you're preventing this and even maybe canceling out completely, and you may not never need to go to the hospital for such and such and such reasons. So this is how you can do it. So that's what the 24-hour workout
Amazing.
is all
So
about.
you're gonna be awake for 24 hours,
Yes.
showcasing these different kinds of exercise.
Yes. So for the first 30 minutes of every hour. So it's like we do our workout, it's the same warm up, then the workout is going to be maximum of 25 minutes though, so that we're done by the half hour. Then some of the hours we'll be shooting like 15, 20-minute podcasts before we start again at the top of the hour.
Okay.
And we're going to be live on YouTube the whole time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Guys, tune in.
Going to be live on YouTube, and we're going to also record most of the workouts and they'll be available afterwards.
That's so cool, Shiv. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure I could do 24 hours of watching
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah.
because my sleep is quite valuable, but I will be tuning in.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing to talk about is like your preparation for this, right?
Yeah.
So you've changed your diet somewhat.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through that?
Yeah. So the first time I did this, I was on a vegetarian diet because I was testing out after I watched Game Changers.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I watched that. I was like, I have to try this for myself. I just can't take it for face value for what they're saying. So I was like, I did it for 2 months. And in those 2 months, my endurance was like so good. Yeah. Because I was like off everything that's like alcohol, off meat, off just sleeping well, hydrating well. And I was like, if it worked then, it should work now. So for the past 2 weeks, in partnership with you guys in Greens Food, I've been on a vegetarian diet. And the thing about the vegetarian diet is it's harder to build muscle because you're not getting in as much protein as you may require in a day, unless you're supplementing a lot extra. However, you are getting enough carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals to recover, and you're able to go further. So your strength, or rather, my strength has gone slightly lower, very slightly, like 5%, but my endurance is already so much higher. Like I'm doing a workout, and in an hour, I'm recovered, and I'm like, okay, what else can I do? So I ended up doing 2 workouts, 3 workouts a day because I'm recovering and I'm feeling like, okay, I'm ready to go again. My sleep is good. And also, I've increased my water intake and I'm not sore again because carbs help with muscle recovery. Protein helps with muscle building. So I'm just recovering so much quicker and I'm just able to go so much more. So it's like I also have to eat so much more so that I don't lose too much weight because I'm very active at the moment. And a lot of runners I know do the same kind of things, especially long distance. They'd have really high carb diets, especially leading on to races. So it's good for endurance, and that's kind of what I'm going for.
Yeah.
Endurance and quick recovery.
So would you say then that if you are a runner, like you touched on just now, then this kind of vegetarian diet really works? But if you were doing bodybuilding, for
Yeah.
instance, you kind of need to go back to the protein heavy
Yeah.
diet.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how sustainable it is for you. If you're able to do it in the long run, because I do a bit of meat every now and then, but if you're looking to get really elite, your diet will mostly consist of carbs for sure.
Yeah.
And if you're bodybuilding, if you're trying to build as much muscle in a short amount of time, meat is definitely the way to go. Yes, there are strong men and bodybuilders on this vegetarian diets, really lean, really look good, but it takes a bit more grit and also takes a bit more knowledge to make sure that you're supplementing correctly. That because with that kind of stress to the body from bodybuilding, you need to be able to make sure you're hitting all your vitamins, your vitamin B, and what you need from meat. You're getting your aminos into
Yeah.
your body. Otherwise, you may be now stressing your joints. You may be now, you see. So it's like there has to be a balance.
So you kind of really need professional advice if you
Yeah.
want to go that far, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Right?
If you're like trying to get competitive, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love talking about the other sort of the bigger picture of fitness that people often don't talk about, which is hydration. You've talked about quite a lot, and sleep. And I think, you know, sleep is something we really don't take very seriously yet. Apart from I hear you talk about it, I hear other functional fitness or functional medicine people talk about it, Mark Hyman, these kind of people. How seriously do you take it, Shiv? Like, are you militant about your bedtime? How, you know, and how has that changed over the years?
Yeah, I'd love to be militant about my bedtime. I'd love to be. Before, I didn't take it as seriously, but the more I started to listen to the Hubermans, and all the rest, and actually try test it out, the better I felt after a good night's sleep, not just in terms of length, but also just quality. But it has obviously been a difficult number of years, and I've seen it because of having I have two girls, and first one is 8. I kind of forgot how it was, but my second one is 3. She turns 3 on Sunday, actually.
Oh, sweet.
So that period, that first 6 months when you're not really getting any sleep,
So hard, isn't it?
it's a lot. So, and it's even tougher, I'd say, on you guys,
Yeah, on the mums.
on the moms. But I was getting to the gym, and I had to even cancel. I usually do like 3 classes in the morning, like a 5, 6, and 7. So I had to take out the 5 a.m. class because I tried it for I think a week, and I was getting to class and I was just like lagging, like literally I was so slow, like in response time to questions, and I just wasn't sleeping enough. And I was like, this is really affecting my performance with coaching in the gym, with my just everything, with work. And now we started sleep training her, and when she was finally sleeping, and we were now finally getting to a good sleep. And I was like really now being militant, trying to be in my sleep. Like for now, it's like minimum 6 hours kind of thing. It's so much better. You literally wake up feeling like you're ready to go. You wake up and you're like, you have this energy burst, and I love it. And I'm huge advocate for getting a good night's sleep. I used to think that, it's like, oh, grind all night. Yes, there's 1 or 2 days you may have to, but also if you're organizing your time well enough, then you're able to do quite a large amount of things during the day. You
Yeah.
don't have to then do another night. Then the next day, it's like you can't really perform. So it's like, so that's a wasted day. So why not just organize your day as appropriately and as best as you can so that you can get this good night's sleep? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think one of the things I always feel like we're so lucky living on the equator because you can be in a circadian rhythm without trying very hard. Like so our rule in the house, if it's light outside and the birds are singing, we can talk about you getting out of bed.
Yeah.
But if it's not, you
Yeah.
need to go back to bed. Naturally, for us humans on the equator, it's really healthy.
Yeah.
Because there is the same, it's a half an hour difference, right? So it's quite easy to say, right, it's dark,
Yeah.
going to bed in a few hours. I'm usually like 10 o'clock, oh, that's it, you know.
And you're done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm done for the day.
And your body knows it's done, but you see now it's like how much do you force like no, let me just watch one more episode. Let me just watch.
I know.
Then you might end up sleeping on the couch and then waking up at like 1:30. So now you've already messed up the sleep cycles. And then maybe your neck is bad or your back is like messed up. Then you're trying to sleep again and you're waking up. So those kinds of things kind of just, you kind of have to be intentional. You have to be intentional about wanting to get this good night rest.
And what about the hydration side, Shiv? Like, do you think we're all drinking enough, or do you see like with people coming to the gym that really hydration is something we all need to work on?
So in terms of hydration, I think everyone needs to work on their hydration. It's something that you can easily forget. I think that's the main issue. So how do we remember to keep hydrated? I'd say it's like set yourself up for success by making sure you have the equipment needed to stay hydrated throughout the day. So carry that huge bottle of water, and literally if you have to tie it to your bag, tie it to your bag. Walk everywhere with it. There's also this mentality, I don't know if it's just a cultural thing here. It's like, I know it's changing, but like before, it's like carrying a bottle of water. It's like, I don't carry a bottle of water. And I'm like, yeah, but how are you going to get your hydration in? So just being intentional about hydrating. The more you hydrate, the more toxins you're flushing out of your system, the less bloated you'll be, the clearer your mind will be, the better your decision making, the better your muscle recovery, your joints, your digestion, your sleep. So it affects everything. We're mostly water.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to listen to that, you know. You
Yeah.
can't like go against nature and win. You just can't.
No.
Yeah.
Talking of like, you sort of like saying much earlier on about counting steps and things. Do you can see I don't, but do you
Yeah.
have a wearable that tells
Yeah.
you, and does it remind you like drink your water, you should be going to sleep now?
Yeah.
And how long have you had it and how do you feel about that?
I love it, and I think it's some people need it more than others, but after some time, it kind of just gets into your mind. But it does strike a nerve when it goes on, and you're like, okay, I. It just kind of reminds you. It comes part of your day, part of your to do. I do have a wearable. I've been using them for the past, man, I think 3, 4 years. That consistently. But when it comes to tracking, like my meals, first of all, tracking meals, I used to track them every day for about 4 years, nonstop. Every single meal I used to eat.
Wow.
So I do count calories in my head for everything. As soon as I sit, like I have this habit of looking at everyone's plate and be like, okay, they're eating 1,200 calories, and that's probably supposed to be their calories for the day. But okay,
Shiv, it's like
it's a
me.
well.
And we went out for a meal the other day, and I just couldn't even help it. I was like, "Where's the lamb from?" And
Yeah.
my husband looks at me like, "We're supposed to be having like a nice meal
Yeah.
together, not doing your sourcing policy stuff." And I was like, "I
I
can't help
can't
it."
stop though.
Yeah.
I need to like, yeah. Anyway, I have a wearable, so it does remind me about when to sleep. Waking up, I'm a bit. I like looking at my sleep score. I know it makes some people anxious, like knowing how their sleep score was, because they're thinking, "Oh, I have to sleep," and it's raising the anxiety before bed. But I'm like, yeah, let me go to bed now, so that my sleep score is like really good, because I'm always trying to get like a sleep score of maybe like 70% and above. And when I don't, I literally feel it. So sometimes I'm like, is it
Yeah.
a placebo effect? But I'm like,
Yeah.
or is it an actual effect? It doesn't tell me about water, but it tells me when it's time to move. If I sit for a long time, it'll be like, yeah, it's time to start to move. And I appreciate it. And I think it's kind of a good tool, because you may ignore it, you can't ignore it. The same way you can set notifications on your phone to do not disturb from 9 p.m.
Yeah.
And you can choose to ignore it. You can choose to shut down your apps after 5 hours of use, or you can ignore it, but there's always that reminder, and it does remind you, and you will follow it most of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I think they're probably really useful, but I've just ummed and ahed about
Yeah. Yeah.
whether I want it. And the sleep thing is so interesting because I think sometimes, you can wake up and feel like, I think it was okay. And then later in the day, you can feel like it wasn't actually a good night's sleep. And I'm really feeling it at like 2 p.m.
Yeah.
And then there's also that mid-afternoon slump that a lot of us
Yeah.
get if you don't eat the right thing at lunch.
Yes.
I think, and
Yeah.
especially when you work in an office.
Yeah.
And perhaps perhaps even just going for a walk at lunchtime helps that
Yeah.
the mid-afternoon slump.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I struggle with the mid-afternoon slump, just because I'm up at 4 a.m. So it's like by 12, between 12 to 1:30, if I'm not moving around, if I'm just chilling on a desk, then it's a problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do have to move around, and I do have to be conscious not to eat like really simple carbs at around that time, because it's like shoots me up, and then I'm 100% taking a nap, like 30 to 45-minute nap if I didn't sleep well, but also it's like you also have to realize that maybe this is what your current reality is at this point in time. So how do I structure my day in a way that I know this period is going to be a tough period, almost 5 out of 7 days of the week. So let me do this. So I have to be in the gym, I have to be coaching. After that, I have to maybe edit one or two, post one or two. So this period, is this going to be my downtime for the day? So between 12 to 2, it's my downtime, it's my chill time, it's my PlayStation time, I'll be honest.
Yeah, cool.
Because I'm like, I can't think right now. So I'm going to just escape
It's
into my
your act
place.
of relaxation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Or I'm going to just play or walk, or even sometimes just play the dog outside. Just something that doesn't require very intense focus. From now 3 to 5, I know I can work.
Yeah.
So I can get back and I can do some good quality work at this time before night's time to just turn down for the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and actually, just thinking about that mid-afternoon slump, it made me think about being at university and drinking too much. Same deal, right? And I remember my flatmate saying, all this drinking is going to make us really fat and unhealthy.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, yeah, alcohol's full of sugar. And he goes, it's not that. For me, it's alcohol makes me sleep really badly. And then the next day, all I
Everyone.
do is eat rubbish.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really stayed with me because I thought,
Yeah.
now it might not be the alcohol so much, but the bad sleep. So I think, like, if I have a really bad night's sleep, what's going to happen tomorrow?
Yeah.
I'm just going to eat really badly
Yeah.
and not feel great. It's just going to be up, down, up, down, up, down all
Yeah.
day. So it is interesting how everything's all just so interconnected, isn't it?
Yep.
You can't say, I'm working on myself because I'm eating right, but
Yeah.
I'm doing no exercise and I don't care about sleep.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. In fact, I was at the barber's yesterday, and one of the clients, some guy was getting his hair done, so he was getting a facial. Then the lady was like, "You like you get facial?" Then he's like, "Yeah, I can't be going to the gym, caring about my body and my diet, and I don't care about my face."
oh,
I was like,
amazing.
"Wow, yeah, you don't hear that every day."
Yes.
Well, and he wasn't Kenyan, he's Nigerian. I was like, okay, I've never had a Kenyan only saying that.
Yeah.
So I was impressed.
So maybe we
Yeah.
need to adopt that a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. So exactly, you can't care about, your food and not care about your sleep and not care about it kind of all ties in.
Ties in
Yeah.
together, yeah. And your kids must be really, we see them on social media a bit.
Yeah.
And when you guys do the challenges of like
Yeah.
you're lifting up the whole family
Yeah.
and things, they must be really picking up on this. And I can imagine with your 8-year-old that she is, if it's anything like my kids at that age, that they're starting to talk about it
Yeah.
a bit more, and you can see that it's going in.
Yeah. They always want to come to the gym. I mean, every single day. Well, I usually go before they wake up, but when I go when they're awake, it's a struggle not for them not to come with me, because they're like, yeah, I won't come to the gym with you every single time, and they love it. And for me, introducing kids into a workout environment, a gym environment, is not about making sure that they get a workout in. It's just having them be in that environment, familiarity with the environment, and they will get one or two things just by watching what you're doing, watching what other people are doing, getting the gym etiquette and the vibe, and knowing that this is part of life. This is part of what we should do. We should move, we should work out, we should hydrate, clean equipment after use. So they're just learning from being in the environment. Because most of the time they just come, I give them chalk and they'll just draw on the gym floor the whole time, or play on the rings, just swinging. But you see, it's still activity and they're still absorbing the stimulus.
Yeah, and it's and probably the equivalent for me is getting the kids in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Like, this is how you're going to cook chickpeas from dry chickpeas all the way, and just learning, like, so all these things are kind of demonstrated so that they then are equipped later in life to do the practical things, right? Because we all go to school and uni and whatever, like you learn a lot of sort of academic stuff, but there's a lot of practical things that we need to know. So Shiv, as we wrap this up, do you have any sort of tips or words of encouragement that you want to leave with people as we go into this festive season? Something that people can sort of take with them?
For this holiday season, I just like each of you to know that you are capable of achieving whatever it is you want to achieve, whether it's business-wise, whether you have goals for the new year coming in to get fit, whether it's to start that new business, whether it's to just be more in tune with your body, physically, mentally, spiritually. Just take it one day at a time. Set extremely realistic goals, like so realistic that it seems ridiculous at the beginning. But when you achieve these very small goals, it becomes, I don't want to say like a drug, but each achievement is, you're going to like give yourself a pat, and then the next one. An achievement can be, for this month, I'm going to work out once a week. For the next month, I'm going to work out twice a week, every week. And then I'm just going to add 2 liters of water every day for once a week for this month. And because we're looking at this as a long term. We're not looking at this as I'm just doing this until this time for 6 months and that's that. I'm doing this for the rest of my life. So if I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, it's like saving. I can't start saving my whole salary today. I have to save what I can, and I'm going to start really small because I haven't done this before. So I'm going to start really small, even if it's just that 100 shillings, 100, but you're basically building that muscle memory. The same way you build muscle memory in the gym, where it becomes habit of lifting, you're building muscle memory for drinking water, muscle memory for sleeping well, muscle memory for having a better relationship with a family member, a friend. So it's just very small, achievable goals, short term, then they become midterm, then they become long term. And that's what I leave with.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Shiv. We
Thank
really
you.
enjoyed this.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Thanks.
Thanks so much for listening. And if you've been inspired by this episode, please spread the love. Click on the share button and send it on WhatsApp to a friend you know would enjoy it too. Or do all the usual sharing and liking on social media. It makes a massive difference to us and we're super grateful.